Hi, it's Gil at Close Call Sports. We have some news on the virus spreading containment front for the upcoming season of 60 games. MLB has realized that umpires might be the most susceptible people that are on the field. They're the high risk group, they are the most vulnerable, and they are the so called weak link. The reason is that under a normal year, umpire crews travel all over the country, more mileage than anyone else by far, and they travel more often than anyone else. They fly commercially, they're in public airports, not charter and private and little things like that. So, how do they contain what could be a very dangerous situation with umpires being in the public? Here's how. First and foremost, we do have a rules change on the field that I want to talk about really quickly. One of those rules changes is that it's the 6-foot ejection rule. Player, manager, coach tries to argue a call comes within 6 feet of an umpire, they are subject to immediate ejection. Similar, try to start an altercation with someone else, subject to ejection. So the question rhetorically would be, are we going to have more ejections this year? On pace, not obviously we only have 60 games. More ejections per capita, so to speak, or less? Rhetorical. Second, let's go forward with some of the proposed modifications to the umpires this season, this weird season that we have. First and foremost, we're going to have regional crews. That's the idea. We talked about this last time. We didn't know, and we still don't know, if they're actually going to be trying to split up and redraw the crew map, so to speak, or they're going to keep the crews as was constructed prior to the season, just put them in a part of the country. For instance, you put crew A or something like that in the West, and their responsibility is you go from LA, drive down to Anaheim, drive to San Diego, drive to Arizona, etc. Or are they going to do something else? That's a consideration that they're trying to figure out right now. What they're also trying to figure out right now is where umpires going to stay. They usually stay in their own accommodations, their own hotels, but they might go under team hotels because it's easier to control that way. It's easier if you have everyone under the same umbrella. You can sort of cordon off the entire floor, 2 floors, etc. That's another consideration. We also have the issue of we're not going to have umpires traveling at the end of every series. Maybe we're going to have them travel at the end of just the homestand, but not the entire series. So you stay with the team for their entire homestand, and then you travel to the next site when the homestand is over. That's another idea. They're also considering taxi squads for the minor league call-up umpires. Might not be a minor league season, so having this taxi squad, similar to how the MLB teams are having their minor league players serve as taxi squads in the same area as the big league stadium so they can get there if they need to. Speaking of which, umpires might be empowered, the full-timers might be afforded the opportunity to opt out, especially if they're of a higher risk group. Now, we talked about Joe West and Jerry Davis being the senior most umpires, high risk, age is one factor. And the question is, first of all, does the opt-out come with pay or not? Could be with pay, could be. But the question is that Jerry Davis, Joe West, both have milestones that they're looking to achieve. Jerry Davis is looking for 5,000 games total. Joe West is looking for the all-time number one, all-time regular season games worked record. Joe West needs 60 games for his. Jerry Davis needs considerably fewer for his, and Davis can also use the postseason. West cannot. So Davis probably can achieve it no problem this year. For West, it would be a crunch. He needs 60 games. The season is exactly 60 regular season games. Does he forego the opt-out option and try to get the record this year, or does he try to come back next year and try to do it in 2021, presumably with fans in attendance? You can get the whole ceremony. So that's another sidebar as it were. So let's say I have the one site for an entire homestand, staying at the team hotels, call-up umpires on standby. MLB still has the option to forego replay review because that is a high-risk setting. Do they modify the way they do replay? Do they get rid of it this year? That's another consideration to be determined. And then face coverings. They might encourage but not require them. They're still trying to figure out what they're going to do because we saw that the KBO has it and over in Taiwan it's a different thing and they don't have it. So what's going to be the face coverings, and is it going to be a problem for some of the older umpires, the more senior guys on the staff, to be wearing face coverings for the entire game in very hot weather outside and maybe inside? And well, outside's safer than inside, so that's another question. What's going to happen with the stadiums that have the roof? Are they going to open, close? Well, it's so many variables going around, but this is just the latest discussion that MLB is trying to figure it out. What are the crews going to be? In any case, Umpire Objection Fantasy League, our draft is still open. If you go to our homepage, it is at the top of the homepage. Well, not, it's underneath the navigation banner. There is an image banner that says UEFL registration now open. Click on that. You can still submit your teams and your rosters and all of that nice stuff. The deadline is going to be opening day, the day before opening day. So I think that's July 23rd or something like that. So you have several weeks that you can still submit your crews, submit your picks for this modified season. That said, one scoring change, if we do have playoff rounds that are unusual, we usually have the wild card, division series, championship series, world series that are assigned 1, 2, 3, 4 bonus points depending on the round. First round's 1 point, second round's 2 point, etc. What we're going to do this year, if we do have any extra rounds, what we will be doing is the first round will get a point, a bonus point, second round is 2, third round is 3, fourth round is 4, as usual. And if we do have a fifth round, that's going to be +5, sixth round +6, etc. If MLB wants to make a 20-round postseason, then you're going to get +20 if you work the World Series. That's unusual. I guess we'll figure it all out at some point. Visit us online at closecallsports.com, Umpire Ejections on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you on the site.